Hello everyone, I am Maximius Plaza from BSI English 2, and today we will tackle about the behaviorist theory of language acquisition. The behaviorist theory. Behaviorist, and also known as behaviorist psychology, is a theory of learning based on the idea that all behaviors are acquired through conditioning. Conditioning occurs through interaction with the environment. Behaviorists believe that our responses to the environment stimuli shape our actions. Behaviorists believe that any person can potentially be trained to perform any test regardless of genetic background, personality traits, and internal thoughts, within the limits of their physical capabilities. In order to, behaviorism was formally established with the 1913 publication of John V. Watson's classic paper, Psychology, as the behaviorist views it. It is best summed up by the following quote from Watson, who is often considered the father of behaviorism. Two types of conditioning. According to behavioral psychology, there are two major types of conditioning: classical conditioning and operant conditioning. Classical conditioning, also known as Pavlovian conditioning, is a learning through association and was discovered by Ivan Pavlov, a Russian psychologist. It is a technique frequently used in behavioral training in which a neutral stimulus is paired with a naturally occurring stimulus and conditioned stimulus. Eventually, the neutral stimulus comes to evoke the same response as the naturally occurring stimulus, even without the natural occurring stimulus presenting itself. Throughout the course of the distinct phases, the associated stimulus becomes known as the conditioned stimulus, and the learned behavior is known as the conditioned response. Operant conditioning. Operant conditioning, sometimes referred to as instrumental conditioning, was first described by behaviorist B.F. Skinner. It is a method of learning that occurs through reinforcements and punishments. Through operant conditioning, an association is made between a behavior and a consequence for that behavior. When a desirable result follows an action, the behavior becomes more likely to occur again in the future. Responses followed by adverse outcomes, on the other hand, become likely to happen again in the future. Conditioning can be influenced. During the first part of the classical conditioning process, known as acquisition, a response is established and strengthened. Factors such as the prominence of the stimuli and the timing of presentation can play an important role in how quickly an association is formed. When association disappears, this is known as extinction, causing the behavior of weakening gradually or vanish. Factors such as the strength of the original response can play a role in how quickly extinct occurs. The longer a response has been conditioned, for example, the longer it may take for it to become extinct. Consequences affect learning. Behaviorist B.F. Skinner described operant conditioning as the process in which learning can occur through reinforcement and punishment. More specifically, by forming an association between a certain behavior and the consequences of that behavior you learn. For example, if a parent rewards a child with praise every time they pick up their toys, the desired behavior is consistently reinforced. As a result, the child will become likely to clean up messes. That's all for today. Thank you, and God bless.